So now we will go with the third category, which is about the teacher rec letters. Okay, teacher rec, I mean recommendation letters. So now teacher recommendation letter is also a very important component or factor of your admission is a cycle. Okay, so it is really important that your teacher recommendations are very great. So now this is really important. The best teacher recommendation letters are not written like in one night or in one day or just in 1 week. Trust me, talk about with your teachers about your recommendation letter as soon as possible. Like notify them like 5 months or 6 months ago or 1 year ago, because as much time you give to your teachers to think about it and to write about you, as much time they have the best application, or sorry, the best recommendation letter they can write. If you just say that, okay, tomorrow is my last day of application submission and I need a recommendation letter, first, your teacher will ignore you and reject you. Sorry, I don't have time. Secondly, if they write, they just write a very just randomly write in this, there you go. And you cannot expect that recommendation letter should be a perfect one or an excellent one, because the teacher does not have time for your recommendation letter. So that's really important that you talk with your teachers as soon as possible. Give them time, talk to them and tell them what are your great qualities outside of school also, because this is good that when a recommendation letter is written, that should showcase your academic potential or performance, your leadership, your maturity, independence, well-rounded, dedication, and all other things. So I will maybe in the future will talk more in details about this all 7 or 8 factors, but today I think that's enough that you should get just a picture of that. And the last one is alumni interview. So alumni interview is not actually a part of your application process, because it will take place after your admission, after your admission submission. So when you apply to the USC schools, like after some weeks, that some schools, they will just email you or they will text you and say that we offer you an alumni interview, and do you want to join it? Okay, so this says that the link will be, the time will will be finished within 10 minutes. So I think I can finish it before that. Yeah, so just for those of you who may not know what alumni means someone who went to a school, a university or college, and they graduated. For example, if you went to Marifat High School and you graduated from Marifat High School, it means you are an alumna of Marifat High School. If you are like, I think if you are a boy, they say alumnus. If you are a girl, they say alumna, and in general they say alumni. So I hope that I did not say it wrong. So yeah, so this is after your admission application submission, and this is really important. If you are offered an alumni interview, take it, because it really helps you to give the best face of yourself or version of yourself to the college admission officers. So just want to tell you, okay, I was offered an alumni interview by Ivy League Dartmouth College. So, and I took every interview, okay? Sometimes it is very challenging dealing with many stuffs at the same time, but try to take as much as possible. I really hammered the opportunity, because I could really show the best version of myself, the reality of myself, in like face to face to that alumni person. And I just to say really briefly, I think she was very impressed, and therefore that school offered me like admission with 100% scholarship, even pay for my transportation to go to the US and come back. And so that's great. That's really good to have to take the alumni interview. I think so. That was the end of this session. So I don't have like any further things. Yeah, sorry, just to give an overview of this all things. Now you think that, okay, so which components or factors are the most important? This is like this one that I have done based on my personal experience, and also doing like a little bit of research, and also listening to other students that they are admitted to the best US schools and colleges. So if you just make a percentage of this all 7 components. So GPA or your grads will make between like 25 to 30%, and your extracurricular activities that makes like between 20% of your application, and recommendation letters make between 10 to 15%. Sorry, sorry, excuse me. And your university or college to answer those questions, that makes between maybe 5 to 8%, and your personal statement that makes between 10 to 15%, and your SAT or SAT test that makes between like 10%, and TOEFL or IELTS score that makes like between 2 to 5% somehow. And I hope that I have been realistic enough when I want to try to give an overview of that. So now you have like a picture that what parts are very important, but also remember this, okay? These different schools like deal with these factors a bit differently. Maybe for some schools, your GPA and your SAT scores are the most important factors. But in some schools, they say your extracurricular activities. What I know from my friends in Harvard, they say that being just as a person and how you grow up and you just develop and evolve, meaning that you do extracurricular activities, that's very important in Harvard, because they really want to invest on leaders. So maybe Harvard is though they of course take the the GPA very seriously, but they also give good attention to extracurricular activities. So this is somehow the general overview of the US schools when they evaluate your application. So just remember this, that US schools and colleges, they have a holistic approach. A holistic approach, it means a very broad look at your application. So they don't say, oh, GPA great, then this person is admitted, while you don't have any extracurricular activities. Or they say, wow, this recommendation letter for this student is perfect, so great, what a nice. Then he's offered admission, while maybe you are not strong enough in your extracurricular activities. So they put all of the things like this. I have made this picture on your screen, and they say, yeah, okay, great in GPA, great in extracurricular activities, recommendations, personal statement, everything is great, or maybe good enough. Then they say, then they make a decision. So that's the end of this part of our session for today. There will be a Q&A session, and I also know that we have only 4 minutes left. So meanwhile, you can ask your questions, and you can also please go to the next link, which will be link number 2, and I will share it here. And that will be a Q&A session, and I will answer all of your questions there.